you doing, everyone? Novabug here. It's Foursome time. It's October Foursome time. So I think we might be able to guess what gaming subject matter we're going to go down the route here. But because, believe it or not, never done this one before in October. So, but let's go with the responses to the last Foursome, shall we? So September's Foursome was all about gaming surprises. So I left, this is like a quite open question to people, really. And we had 5 responses, 5 very good responses, I might add. And we had Crow Continuum, fantastic. Crow's done every one this year, which has been absolutely brilliant of Crow. It's been fantastic. I'm even friends with him on Facebook now, so there we go. He did a really lovely going on about stories and stuff. And it's lovely to hear sort of stories from that side of the pond as well. And we also had Down the Rabbit Hole, of course, a very regular Foursome. He does enjoy a Foursome, does Down the Rabbit Hole. And of course, Wee Bob, and I think he's maybe the 4th or 5th time he's done the Foursome this year, which is fantastic. So welcome to all you guys. And of course, 2 new people to the Foursome. We have Ponder's Retro Goodness, lots of Commodore 64 talk in that, which was very, very enjoyable. Interesting stuff as well, stuff that I didn't know about. And a very enjoyable video. So Ponder, welcome to the Friday Foursome. And Technic, one of my captains in my bug army, Technic, who's recently stepped his toe into the world of YouTube, which is lovely to see. And Technic is my winner this time, no doubt about it. Because I think it was an excellent debut, and I think he articulates himself really well in front of camera, quite natural and quite, confident in front of the camera. The set, I love the set, GX4000 in the back, that's always going to grab my heart. And some of the picks, I mean, he had me with the first pick straight away, which was How to Be a Complete Bastard on the Amstrad Action cover tape, which, yeah, thinking about it, that was a surprise, wasn't it? So it was a very good pick. And then he talks about Burning Rubber and Quake, of course, as well. Again, things that I'm a big fan of Quake, and obviously Burning Rubber. So congratulations, Technic, sir. You are the Foursome winner for September. So, shall we move on to October's Foursome? Yes, it's about horror games, of course it is. Your top 4... do it like that, couldn't you? The Devil Horns, yes, yeah. The top 4 in Devil Horn form. Devil Horn form. Horror games. So any platform, any system, any era, just your best horror games. Simple as that. Horror themed games, spooky games, creepy games, all in that genre. Whether it be hyper gore, whether it be a sci-fi horror, whether it be like a traditional sort of Hammer horror story, or even something a little bit more tongue-in-cheek like Scooby-Doo or something like that. As long as it's got that sort of ghostly horror trope to it, creepy tales kind of thing. And you can take that any way you want. I'm going to start with Ghosts and Goblins. Well, a particular version of Ghosts and Goblins, which I personally find my favourite. Now, I love the original arcade, and the remakes on the Amstrad are pretty good, and I like the original Amstrad version as well. And there are a few other versions. The Commodore 64 version I think I quite like as well. But my particular favourite is Super Ghouls and Ghosts, which is the sequel, technically the technical sequel to Ghosts and Goblins, but you know what I'm talking about when I'm saying it. So Ghouls and Ghosts really, but Super Ghouls and Ghosts on the Super Nintendo is my favourite version. It's like an amalgamation of Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts sort of mixed into one, ideas taken from both games, sort of merged into one sort of original game. And I particularly enjoy that game. I had the Japanese carts originally as well, so it's one of my first Japanese imports I had for my Super Nintendo, and really enjoyed that game. I mean, it's double hard, it's ridiculously difficult, like all Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts games are, but I found I was hooked on that game, and I got actually pretty good at it, and it was the first version of Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts that I really got into heavily, to really get the patterns down, get the platforming jumps correctly, get the timing good. So it's one of my all-time favourite games. Super Ghosts and Goblins. No, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. God, it's so difficult to remember that. Anyway, moving on. We will go to an arcade hit, and I first played this. I've spoken about this story before, I'm sure. I first played this arcade in an arcade establishment in South Harrow in London called Video Hits, and it was Splatterhouse. And I was like, What? I couldn't believe the amount of gratuitous gore going on in that game. And of course, it lifting the idea from Jason from Friday the 13th onto the hero of the piece, which name escapes me. Why does his name escape me? I want to call it Kevin, but his name's not Kevin. Good grief, unbelievable. It'll come to me in a minute. Anyway, you get the horror mask, you get the mask of doom or whatever, and it gives you superpowers. So you've got to go and rescue your girlfriend, but it's extremely gory and spectacular, like it. And the sort of the FM Towns port is very faithful to the arcade, as is the PC Engine version with a little bit more toned down. And then you've got the sequels on the Mega Drive, Splatterhouse 2, Splatterhouse 3, and then even a Super Famicom, a Famicom version as well, which is in a slightly different style. But yeah, Splatterhouse, I just love that game. It's so basic. I mean, just a basic slash 'em up, but extremely gory and very memorable. My third pick will be on the PC, and this is this is a PC game that I surprisingly got into, and that's The Seventh Guest. So it's a puzzle mystery tale kind of thing, point and click affair. And I just love the way it was presented. I love the way that the spectres are sort of like come out of the pictures, and you go into different rooms and discover different puzzles and interact with the rooms surrounding it. So it's got a bit of Cluedo about it, sort of taking elements from that, about solving the mystery of the murder in the house, or the mystery of the house essentially, and discover who the seventh guest is through various numbers of puzzles and exploration and point and click stuff. And I became hooked by it, and there were certain puzzles that I got stuck on, and I had to work out how to do them. So a PC game I don't pick often, but really enjoyed The Seventh Guest, and I hopefully will be playing that soon on a live stream. I want to be. Anyway, I do enjoy it quite a bit. And my fourth pick, now I had to think about this a bit, and it's essentially the first of the games, the first of this genre that came out, and I played it with a mate, I remember, on my PlayStation, or his PlayStation actually. I mean, we played it late at night as well, after a few drinks, and I think the horror effect really sort of, like the creepiness effect really sort of hit home, and that was Silent Hill. And I remember getting freaked out with Silent Hill. I mean, even in the opening sequence, when you're lost in the mist, before you even get into the game, it starts to freak you out. It did freak me out back in the day, and it was a very creepy game. I never got affected by things like Resident Evil and later games in the horror genre. Outlast is another one that I actually particularly enjoyed, but that was way later. But the original Silent Hill was something spectacular, I thought, at the time. It was very, very, very sort of projective and original in the way it sort of like sort of messed with your head, and of course very weird and odd story. But the way it was presented in the mist and all the hidden and the camera angles and everything, loved it. Love a bit of Silent Hill, and it's to my personal view, it's the best of all the Silent Hills. Still, is the first one. So those are my 4 Friday Foursome horror picks. The horror picks. That was terrible, wasn't it? That was really lame. Yes. So what are yours? Your favourite 4? 2, 3, 4. Your favourite 4 horror games, horror themed games, spooky games, anything along those lines. Again, any platform, any genre, as long as it's horror based, spooky ghost based, ghoul based, spectre based. You know the kind of thing I'm talking about here. You go for it and tell me your story about why you like these particular 4 games that are related around this time of the year, Halloween month. Because it's my birthday this month, so I always love a bit of Halloween, of course. Again, like as always, post your videos in my Discord. Links are in the description box. Also, you can DM me on Twitter or on Facebook. Send me a link, obviously, to your video so I can post it on the Discord and post it within the links of this very video in the comments. Congratulations to Technic for the last foursome and all the people that involved themselves and took the effort and time. And I know it's a great thing. I really appreciate it, guys, to take the time to make a response to the Friday Foursome. And I do hope we get a good response for this Friday Foursome. Here's hoping, eh? Novabug and the Foursome for October out. Hey, Novabug here.
I do hope you enjoyed this video. Please support the channel by liking and commenting, and of course subscribing if you haven't already done. If you would like to support me further, please consider joining my bug army via Patreon. And also don't forget to follow me over at Facebook, Twitter, BitChute and Twitch. And a salute to my bug army generals Sam M, Sweet Nanak, Pete Walker and Craig Harrison. Thank you everyone for supporting me. Novabug out.